necessarily have much control over the pace of the game, right? So you could be forced to play at the opponent's pace for, you know, the first 15 rounds, and I think that can put a little bit of dent in your morning.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit annoying.
Well, hopefully Big is going to respond here. They have 4 HE nades they've picked up and a smoke. We love to see this. We love to see if it can work out. They also have 2 decoys, which is pretty interesting. You imagine these 4 nades would be, well, at least 3 of them, obviously, heading over towards this B bomb site. Just listening for a rush, holding those nades at the ready, just in case someone tries to attack that choke point. They get the opportunity. They haven't thrown the nades yet. And they come out late, and I think they actually both missed.
Nothing at all.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. Well, I mean, I guess there's still the fireworks of it, Moses. There's always that.
Yeah, it's still early as well. Maybe just not warmed up with the throwing arms.
It's really interesting. I have a sense, although I can't really back it up, but I have a sense that a lot of the time grenades are maybe not worth throwing, especially HE grenades. I mean, I'm not talking about flashbangs and everything else, but like HE grenades seem to be sort of a coin flip about whether or not they get you killed or you do 10 damage to somebody else, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that can be disappointing when you see it. I always just remember how many times we see a grenade coming in, we're like, oh, this is gonna be a phenomenal grenade, it's gonna wreck him, and then like 3 damage comes out.
Yeah, there's also that. You really never know. Keep him with the Mac 10 though, that could be really great for him. He's obviously going to be the AWP player for this team, so if he can get even 1 kill here, that would be helpful, although they're all going to exit on the other side, so denying him that meal, obviously very upsetting. He's just going to be forced to wait. He can still use it the next round though, so maybe he could find a kill there. I mean, he's got the armor as well, so I'd be interested to see how that works out.
Absolutely, and he can drop that CZ over to a teammate as well, which can add an element of danger. Obviously, if he just keeps the armor through this second round into the 4th, that's a benefit in and of itself.
Have you noticed that people have stopped doing the counter boost and drop from the CT side? I mean, not completely stopped, but it's very rare compared to what it used to be.
I think teams have just gotten way too good at countering it. Like, teams don't even mess with it anymore. There's enough, people have found enough off angles down at the ground floor of those rooms where they can punish you if you continue pushing forward. People spam it through the smoke. Sometimes you get double, triple naded, Molotovs, whatever it might be, and I think it's just, at a certain point, not worth the risk.
We got 4 more HE grenades, Moses. The fireworks is absolutely ready here. We'll see if that's going to be working out or not. Major's pushing in, so he could be a target for it. Nothing really happening yet. Oh, there's 1 good grenade. Major and Paz taking some damage. You like to see that. I think they must have gone all the way over the wall, so not at the forefront, but all the way back to the hallway. Can get some pretty good grenade throws in there as well.
Unfortunately, most of the action is coming from drop zone. Xantair's leading the way with an opening kill onto Tapson. And there's not really anything that Big can do to stop this. They have a decent crossfire setup, but with just the weak weaponry, actually they're going to push in. They do find 1, they do find a second, but still there's just far too many rifles and AKs. That nade's going to do some damage. Next down to about half HP, but he's got an AK, so he has a chance here.
Yeah, it's an opening. 1 more grenade on him would be very bad, and Paz does have 1, so he's got to be careful here. Looking for it. Oh, well, Gobby instead is the one to eat it. And there's the follow-up. Paz doing a good job here to close out the round, and Space Soldiers will be up 3-0. What about this idea, Moses? What if you boost 2 people up in that drop, and then they boost on top of each other once they're up, so that they get an angle that, you know, just no one will see coming?
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Do you know, that's so much manpower to put in 1 spot of the map that, like, you would just get, you could easily
do it
get
around where you have deagles or something, you know?
Okay.
You're not really expecting anything anyway, so.
All right, in that case, let's see it. I'm down to
in that case, still no is what you're really saying, just politely. I appreciate that.
Well, Major's gonna lead the way. Again, they're doing a good job of getting that aggressive stance. Now, a lot of utility being used by the Big side of things, and around where they don't necessarily have too much of it. But everything's pretty standard from here. Legia and Gabi kind of doubling up on the drop zone. Next and Tapson watching platform. It's Kiev all alone with that AWP, and he's got no armor.
I think that was a jump throw from Tapson, but he got blocked by the top of the wall, so that it just goes. That was a very cool angle. There's Kiev. No armor on him, but he still takes down Engine. That's a good way to get into the round here. 4 versus 5, and now a little bit of a battle. The bomb is dropped, so absolutely Legia should have spotted that. 3 versus 4, and Majors managed to sneak into the B bomb site. They don't know. They've all rotated out. this could be just completely cutting off the head of Big in this round. They're a man up, so they must be feeling very good right now. But when they try and get back into the bomb site, they're going to be in for a bit of a surprise. Nex goes, doesn't check the corner, and Major's waiting. The double spray down is in. Nex and Tapson absolutely gone. And Keeve and Gob B, they need very fast kills here, otherwise they might as well just retreat. That's such a great position.
And that's such a mistake from Big on such a heavy rotation. I mean, there's 2 dead bodies at the base of that ramp. They're not even close to the bomb site. To evacuate everyone from that A bomb site really cripples them. Major with a great lurk play towards B. That's the perfect secondary option that Space Soldiers needed. He's able to cut off the rotations. He has all the information that it's clear, and it's an easy round for Space Soldiers, despite running into, you know, some struggles at A.
Yeah, but that kind of trade, you should be in a position on the Big side to just spread out on the bomb sides and have a pretty good sort of situation. But you're right, they were just over-rotated towards A, and it ends up backfiring very heavily. It's not going to make you very happy. Now, Keeve does save the AWP, and again, he had no armor, so if he'd been tagged in that round, it could have gone badly.
And let's remember as well, yesterday when we saw Big playing this map, there were plenty of rounds that they were happy to have Keeve with an AWP and 4 CZs and upgraded pistols purchased around it. In fact, that was buys they went into a number of times, not just from a saved AWP. So they're going to be comfortable with this situation they're in right now. As much as they don't want to be here, they're familiar with it. I think we saw this buy 3 or 4 times yesterday on their CT side.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like coming into this tournament, everybody's eyes, from Space Soldiers at least, were on Santeras, but Paz is doing an amazing job right now. He's just completely out of control in the beginning of this game. Already they're setting up their down drop, and they're on the plateau, so a lot of pressure being put on right now. Keeve is starting to rotate that huge cannon into the B bomb side, but is he going to be there in time is the question. That's a nice grenade landing right in the face of Major. We'll take him down, even though they've sustained some damage. And a bit of a return kill there. Paz finding even more. And Santeras coming out of drop to get that kill on Gob B. So a bit unfortunate for B. Looked like maybe if they'd cooled it down a bit, they could have held that bomb side a bit more.
Oh, Lagia is praying for this jump up from Calyx. I don't think it's going to come in quite yet as the only player there. He's going to try and get a different angle to spot the head. Can't land the shot. Now Keeve is here with the AWP. There's the peek and there's the kill. Now another one from Keeve, and he's still alive, but eventually goes down looking for the other angle. Too many Space Soldiers players. I was thinking throughout that round before they got that kill with the HE grenade, Anders, I was wondering it would be cool to go back and see how many nades they purchased, how much money they spent on nades in those first like 4 or 5 rounds of this game, and how much damage they had actually done with them. Because remember, like the first, second, and third round, they didn't do anything despite buying 8 nades, I think, across both rounds.
Yeah, so you're right. Per kill, that's an enormous amount of money to be putting in, at least potentially. 5-0 in favor of Space Soldiers right here, and Paz currently is at 9-1-1 as a scoreline. It's a number that Big might be needing if this continues. It's gone very rough at the beginning here. Once again, for the Big team. Obviously, they made up for it last time, but still, don't want to have to always make up for bad beginnings.
I love this from Major. This is 2 rounds now where he's almost just like turned the brain off and he's just playing with his balls, and he's got a great angle towards the A bomb site. And he's getting all the way up, and he has to know that there's going to be presence towards long A. It's all about a timing though. Oh, Lagia's going to find him. Unfortunately, he stays out in the open too long. If he had kept being aggressive out towards the bomb site itself, towards double doors, or even towards long, he could have made a huge play. It's unfortunate, but you like the assertiveness.
Yeah, now they're getting a little bit paranoid. Keeve looking in. This is a good angle. Oh, he does miss the shot. Engine. Does he want to recommit? If he goes down, then that probably is the round. He needs the headshot, and he's going to get it. Taking down Keeve. He knows Legia was going to be there. The timing was so good. Legia had the grenade in, but he's going to still win the fight. That's a double kill for Legia. And that's going to be a lot better now for Big. Again, they're a man up, and this time, he just needs Legia to stay alive for a couple of seconds, and the backup will be there. He's got a smoke that he's going to put out to try and help a little bit. Got B's ready with a flashbang over the wall. Let's see if that's going to work out. No, Paz will take him down. Flashbang not there in time. Now it's a little bit of a problem again.
Yeah, it really is. Although that bomb's got to get its way to the bomb site and actually going to peek at him. It's just a second earlier, and Paz might have been in more trouble. Smoke from Lagia actually helping him. Great win from Gob B. They haven't pushed out yet, though. They're still stuck in these hallways, one above. Calyx beneath the balcony just waiting in a 2-on-2.
Yeah, this is such a powerful position, because if people want to jump out from that balcony. They're going to be very exposed, especially while they're mid-air. That's a good pick off there. Godby taking out Calyx, and now Paz alone, but he's been so good. He's going to take the one kill. tabseN down on the low ground, and Paz just looking for more. He is an absolute monster in this game right now. Looking for the spray. He's going to get the headshot. Triple for him, and a total of 12, 1, and 1. He's lost his mind.
He's not even reacting. He's just loving it. He's just in the zone. The great start to the game for him, and he's piling it on now. 6-0. Too much ground given up from Big. This is a great 1 versus 2. The movement, the mobility. tabseN doesn't even have a kit, so I mean, you can see this is why he has to run. This is why all the audio cues going Paz's ways, and then he's just ready in the perfect position. Great round. A lot of it based off, even though Major doesn't get anything, I think the fact that Major makes it so far towards the APC and he's just like, all right, guys, well, like, they're not even really watching the bomb site. Everyone just come back. Obviously, the kill on Kyiv is a big help.
Well, you mentioned that the AWP and CC buy was something that Big did a lot yesterday. Another thing they did a lot was give up mid control. So they were covering hallways and then middle of map, but that whole mid section was open a lot of the time. And that can get a little bit tricky. ELeague did win the early fight, so I mean, it wasn't obviously his fault. More grenades are being purchased, Moses. Are you keeping track on this? That's another
no, I don't
$900.
I don't have my my tally sheet here.
All right.
Yeah, this is. We'll see how it goes. They've. Oh, there's Xanter's the opening kill. The nades come in. I think actually Xanter's must have been dinked. He's on the A side of the map, so yeah, those aren't the HE grenades that come out. There's still 2 in hand on Godby and tabseN.
Look at this. I just love everything about this.
What is up with Big in their jumps?
Yeah, they're really good at it, and that's a nice little throwback. Obviously, they did receive a lot of flack for that.
I like it though. That's a cool one. Using the small jump to make it happen. Regardless, 2 nades used. I don't think there's much damage. Maybe 16 on Major. Flashbang's over. Utility smoke wall going to be around the rock. They're going to push right through is Big. 2 players inside the bomb site. The scout on Kyiv better be incredible. It's basically all they've got. There's the nade from Godby getting a kill. So they found 2 in that fashion, but unfortunately not much more is going to go their way. And Space Soldiers, they've got a healthy economy. Paz is going to have 16,000 after this round. No, 15,000, excuse me.
Take it either way. I mean, I feel like at this point, you know,
splitting hairs.
That's still pretty good. It was an expensive round. They lost 3 players, and for a minute there, it looked like it could have got out of control, but it didn't. Space Soldiers prevail 7-0 right now, moving into the 8th round. And I mean, now Big have got to reach deep to try and pull themselves out of this one. Double AWP is what we're looking at here. tabseN with 1, Kyiv with another, and I don't want to do this, but tabseN's got 0 kills. That must change.
Bloody hell. Yeah, it really does. Legia forced back by the smoke and all that presence, spreading through the wall, trying to get lucky. Does Kyiv get aggressive here? That is the question, is when does he turn this corner? Because he's poised to do it, and he's starting to inch up now. Where is Space Soldiers going to be? Major and Engine both coming over. There's the stairs, the flick down, misses, and he can't get away. No option for Kyiv in that scenario. Engine's going to find it, and Xanter's this is such a great flank, especially combined with Calyx and drop zone. There's a kill from Xanter's, and Nex is such low HP. He's so afraid to take this fight. Xanter's has him pinned down. Another win, but that angle is just too strong. tabseN's been spotted out, but they're in a 2-on-2 at the very least, and this flank could win the round.
Let's see what happens. Still got plenty of time right now, and they're waiting. Bomb goes down finally. ELeague is waiting for tabseN to get a little bit closer, then they can start to move in together. tabseN finally picked up a kill in the round here. They must win this one. Double AWP investment. ELeague is gone. Instant headshot from Paz. He seems to be able to do nothing else right now. tabseN not even going to get that Molotov in. There's a great shot on Engine. Close range, makes the jump. Paz is so quick, he can't even get down on the ground again.
Paz is being very aggressive in these clutch situations. He's now up to 16-2 and obviously just imbued with confidence. So, I mean, I think tabseN is just caught off guard by the fact that Paz is out in the open, ready to take that fight. He's jumping for information. Maybe a little bit ill-advised in retrospect, obviously, but trying to do anything he can to get a read of what's coming next.
Well, so hard to know, right? Because Paz is so far out, he's really exposed in that jump. But if Paz had been on the bomb side, it probably would have just been tabseN's head that just peeked up from behind the truck. So a little bit crazy right there. 8-0. Well, the Turkish madness continues into round number 8. They've got CCs and more grenades. But they're still not doing anything.
Out. Utility usage not on point on this CT side. Molotov to force players off stairs and again towards this B bomb site. I mean, we've seen this play out basically 8 rounds into this half. There's a grenade. That's not bad. Need more of it, but they're out of HEs actually in this round. So ELeague is going to use the smoke to block off drop, make this a one-front battle towards platform. But Space Soldiers, I mean, obviously up 8-0. They haven't had any issues taking this portion of the map whenever they've wanted it.
It would be interesting if they could force someone to sort of drop in because of the smoke, but now the Molotov is going to force Legia back anyway. In that previous round, never mind that Kiev did go down to Engine, I believe, I still like the position that he took. I like the risk out A-long. It's something that I feel like, I know it's really difficult to do on the CT side, but I wish more people would experiment with it.
I think part of it is I mean, there hasn't been an op on the T side for Space Soldiers, so you can take that risk. Obviously, if you're playing against another opper, you're going to be a bit more worried because it's just so difficult to win that battle when there's so many different places that it can be watched from. Major's going to stroll his way onto platform and find himself an easy headshot on the Tapson. Turning the corner, he gets another one onto Nex. Just a 2-tap. And I mean, the bomb was starting to cheat towards the A bomb site, and now they're just going to head back to where there's success. Even though Kiev finds that kill, it's very little impact on how this round will play out. It's just save the AK-47 for a teammate.
These early games, Moses, what would you do? I mean, not now, obviously. Now you barely got any control of your life at all. But back in the day, what do you do? Do you get up early, go to the gym? Like, how do you make sure you wake up and you're really sort of super fresh and ready to play? You don't have this kind of start the Big is having right now. You taps it on 2 kills. You know, it's not good enough, is it?
No, I mean, I've told this story a number of times. We had some early games. I know with the tournaments we used to do, my team used to do push-ups in the tournament area. Yeah. To get the blood going. Some jumping jacks as well from time to time. You know, whatever fancied, whatever took your fancy. I know my brother once, we were on a team together, gave a nice, rousing speech in the hotel at 6 a.m. one day, and we actually had security called on us for his inspirational words. He's been a bit intense, man. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's something that you can replicate. Like, if your speech is so good that hotel calls security, then you're ready.
My brother was one of those guys who we actually had it earlier in this event actually on the stage with one of the coaches. My brother was one of those guys where esports never used to have this many cameras around it on the players, and he was actually one of the guys where one of the first events where cameras actually came into a CPL. The tournament admins had to tell him to stop shouting obscenities because the cameras were picking it up on all the other games, and they were just like, we can't have, like, you know,
that's
sponsors
where it went
don't want
wrong.
this. Yeah,
we need to bring that back.
He was a pioneer, Anders.
Yeah,
you would have liked him.
I feel like we need to bring that back. Well, I have luckily met him, so you know, but not obviously in this play day.
You have, haven't you? Yeah.
I would say we need to return, and maybe that's what's missing from Big's inventory here. Just, you know, bad language.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Something it certainly is. It's 9-0 right now, and now we're back in the game. Pretty much a default spread coming out here from Big, so looked like they maybe wanted to boost over at the B bomb side on top of that box, but so far they haven't. And again, they're locked into the Cobblestone hell of not really being able to take much aggression here on the CT side. They just have to wait. Oh, well, that's fire.
That's fire.
It's not wrong, is it, Moses?
No, it's not wrong at all. I thought he was actually going to win that fight for a second. Great response from Xanter's, aggressive towards long A, and he's actually beating everyone. He's taking a lot of ground. He's taking huge liberties with this play, and that's too much. Pulls out the smoke to peek towards the double doors. Legia gets great damage and forces him back, and there was an option there to go for this. It's going to be tough. Paz has to win this battle. He's been great, but the spray doesn't connect.
Yeah, but Calix, he's managed to sneak down and nobody's noticed. He's down and dropping. They just stay alive here. Legia will get 1 kill. Paz takes him down, and there's Calix dropping next. The timing is so good. And Gobby, he's got to be very worried right now. Gets the instant shot on Calix. He can still do this out in the open. A great headshot coming in. Gobby with a double kill. And now he's looking for Paz, who's ruined their dreams. Time and again, looking for more, but this time Thompson is going to come in with a great double kill to save the round, finally, for Space Soldiers. And he's actually running to pick up the AWP. This is... I mean, he has the time for it, but Still.
Anything you can get, isn't it? Finally, they're able to conquer Paz in a clutch situation. He's been so good. This time, simply didn't have the information and commits to a peek before he got it, so goes down. But he's 18-3.
Come on, how is that possible? I mean, this is outrageous. Like I said, Santaris is the one that obviously had the reputation going into the tournament.
Yeah.
And
that, I mean, this is what's needed, though. This was always the big question mark, as Space Soldiers has been a team that's been hyped up to be this next team that'll break into the professional circuit and be a competitive squad. The question always was, you guys got Xantares. Who's going to be the next guy to step up on the international stage? Obviously, I mean, this isn't the competition of, like, you know, going deep into the major. You're not playing your G2s, your Fanatics, your Phases, whatever it might be. But this is, you know, a team that did very well at the last major. We've seen other players be incredible. Major's going to have another entry. He's going to get a second. Paz is going to eliminate Tapson, and just like that, Big is gone. They're going to get reset.
oh man, that's so rough. We've seen this so many times now, where a CT side will sort of win a single round, and then there comes a knockout right afterwards.
That's why I just love calling it the uppercut, because it's exactly what it feels like, isn't it? Where you just see him get hit in the face, and there's nothing they can really do about it. They just drop. Kiev has to fight his way out to save this AWP, but the hunt is on, and the money's not even great for Space Soldiers. They just don't care. They just want this off away. They know they'll still have all the advantages. Jumping to get the information. Major's not going to peek. Kiev goes for the flick, and it doesn't even matter. He was getting wrapped on from behind.
Quad kill for Major in the round, and these opening kills. I mean, this one, I guess, is a little bit unfortunate timing next, trying to go aggressive, but he just keeps rolling in. And as soon as he takes this long flank around, Legia just, I mean, he can't fight that many angles all at once.
I feel like God B, because of the smoke, didn't even see him. I think he just like wrapped around, saw his leg, and takes the shot, and obviously it lands, and then poor God B just didn't even know what was about to hit him.
What an inspirational story this is for Turkish Counter-Strike that has been sort of largely unknown. I feel like there's always been a solid player base there. There are some of these countries that we don't hear of too much that still have quite a lot of active players. The other one that I'm always wondering about is India. I know that sounds like a stretch maybe now, but there are a lot of people in India playing Counter-Strike, if you don't know.
I did not know that.
Well, now you do, Moses.
Yeah, now I know. I'm actually really, I'm like in Kazakhstan. I'm wondering how many teams are somehow hidden in that region, that country, that is just going to be incredible.
I mean, per capita, they must be doing extraordinarily well at the moment. They gave it a great headshot, but again, maybe just a little bit too little, too late. 3, this is 4 right now. Grobby and Tamsin are next left here in the 12th round. Anything you can steal from the other team, any AK you can run away with, that would be great right now.
Hopes and dreams, Anders. Hopes and dreams. They're nowhere near getting an exit kill. Nex and God B aren't even going for it. I mean, it might be, I think it might have to actually even be a double save. No, they're going to buy into the next round. This is disheartening, to say the least, for Big. It's going to be 11-1.
They've had, I mean, part of this is, as we've been talking about, is down to the maps, isn't it? Because they obviously came into the tournament thinking, well, Inferno is going to be our home map once again, and that really got shot down. Like, that idea died quickly. And now, you know, Cobblestone seems to be the next go-to. That's a problem, right? That if you know, you sort of only have 2 maps that you maybe feel like you can play, and both of them are looking questionable.
Right, and the tough part is we haven't seen like any like outside of Inferno and Big, we haven't seen any other map out of them at this. Like, they haven't really even experimented with their own map pool, have they? They've just kind of gone. Obviously, Inferno, they gave it 2 shots. Cobble, now this is the 2nd shot that'll looks like it's about to get them eliminated, which is unfortunate. But you just have to be impressed with Space Soldiers. I think I'd rather focus on the fact that Space Soldiers have been playing so well, and look how aggressive. They don't want to slow this down. They just want to end the game, and Paz is doing work. He's closed out plenty of rounds, and this time he starts it out with 2 kills, and there's not even a chance for Big to fight back into it.
I mean, especially in a round like this, where yes, they could buy it, but you don't have all the Molotovs and HE grenades to stop that kind of a rush in. So he just comes through the smoke. You're just finished boosting that guy onto the box, and everybody's blind, and then they're dead. I
think the tough part for it as well is, as a player, sometimes when you're getting beat down this bad, right? Like, you have a conversation with whoever you're playing a bomb site with, and you're like, all right, this is what we're going to do this round. This is what they're doing. This is exactly how we're going to counter it. You go here, I'll go here. If this happens, I'll throw this flash or this nade or whatever it might be. And you're focused so much on what
what that adjustment is, that you like almost forget to like look away from those flashbangs for the rush, right? Because both those big players are blind. That can't happen. That's something that generally is worked out that somewhat avoids those initial flashbangs. And this time they didn't do it. Paz is able to just crush them.
Brutal beginning here to the first map of day number 4, 12-1 in favor of Space Soldiers with, I mean, we have to keep an eye on this.
That's so sick. They even throw like a follow-up flashbang as well. Once he's out and fighting, you saw tabseN up top just get like secondary blinded as soon as his teammate goes down.
Yeah, what do you do? I mean, you have to stop them before they get out from that plateau.
You type quit in console and just uninstall the game and just have done.
Yes. 21-5 on Paz. Again, out of control in this game completely.
4 UMPs in that AK that tabseN was able to save. This is going to be a little bit different. 3 players towards long A. And actually, I think Big has the read because they're not feeling any pressure towards the B bomb site that they've had coming from that in pretty much every other round. So they're going to go over towards A. There's some great proactive play across the map. Still doesn't work out, of course. That's unfortunate. Calic's going to follow up on Engine. A 3rd player is here. Paz gets 1 more kill and running into the fire. Oh no, Big. You had the stack, you had the pop flash peek, you had the flames on the ground, you had the nade into the choke point, and still Space Soldiers wins everything.
Yeah, they lined it up so perfectly. The reaction from Santaros is so quick as well. He gets flashed, he just jumps to the side, and then his teammate just takes over and says, I've got this. Very, I mean, this is, when you're at this point for Big, I feel like, and maybe this has been their feeling throughout the tournament, just that nothing's working. Like, whatever it is we're doing, just everything is failing at this point.
Yeah. There's no real good answer, it seems, at the moment. Double op setup for the T side, so another new look on the offense. Space Soldiers just running up the score. Hoping that at this point someone from Big is so frustrated that they just want to go take a peek and take a fight and walk right into an AWP.
Grenades being used early on here. tabseN inside of the B bomb site. The rest spread out across the map. Very similar setup. But again, what else can you do at this point? Space Soldiers, they've gone fast and they've gone slow, and it's all been working. Bit of a fight there as B goes down. A little bit of team damage in between, I believe, but nothing that really matters. It's one round where they had a double AWP setup, and even that, they couldn't really sort of power through with.
Do they go back to T-spawn and trade out for the Indians? Or maybe they're the ops anymore.
Oh.
So Xantares now working his way through drop. There's Paz. He's going to swing around the corner. Actually, this is one of the rare times that actually won that initial fight, but it doesn't matter. Pressure comes from the other angle. And that one has success. And Keith, I feel like he's just felt so lonely this whole game.
Yeah, he's been just on the other side of the map, and all the action has been here. 14-1, ladies and gentlemen. Space Soldiers just a couple of steps now from continuing. They're obviously not going to go all the way through to Boston just yet, but at least they're going to avoid elimination, which cannot be said for Big if they don't make essentially a 15-round comeback here.
It's got to be 15 in a row to win, or, you know, play for overtime.
Yeah, 14 can work too.
Listen, this is where you get into all the platitudes. One round at a time.
Give me some more platitudes.
That's the only one I had, actually, for this big of a disparity.
On any given Monday?
Sunday.
Yeah, but it's Monday, so.
That's a good point. I'll take it all back. Yeah, any given Monday, game of 2 halves. That's Yanko's favorite, as he would say.
Right, yeah.
Game of 2 halves.
Tweet us your favorite platitudes, and we'll try and put some of them on the broadcast. Need just a lot of encouragement. And from the looks of just the camera shots here, that's not really happening, is it? No,
it's not. There's not a whole lot. Like, honestly, God, like it is one of those things where, as an in-game leader, like, you gotta feel for God B, because it is like, what do you say in this kind of a situation? There's no real speech you can give. There's no kind of motivation you can provide to lean on. So
I think drinks are on me is maybe one.
Your favorite platitude.
Paz and Calic's now holding the drop, and sorry if we're making light of the situation, but right now Big is just in a terrible hole. Legia, though, will open up, winning the pistols the first step, and it gets a second kill on Paz. tabseN chiming in to take down Engine. That's the start. Major and Xantares now 2 versus 3 as they take down Leggy here, but the bomb is down. They should not be able to retake this. Big can play for time here. Just wait them out. Oh. Shoot them in the faces works.
Yeah, shooting in the face always works. Santerre's now, he did pick up a kit. He's got armor. He's got 1 flashbang as well. He's got to find this first kill, and he gets completely blinded. There's some of that utility usage from Big. Now, we haven't been able to see yet, but a great opening from Leggy. I don't know what Calyx is doing. I guess that's an interesting way to fall back into drop zone.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm fine with you holding plateau, but not on that side of the wall.
That can't be the plan.
No, definitely not a good idea. So yeah, he misstepped a tiny bit, definitely got punished for it. Great opening for Big. 12 and 14. So we're just gonna... The trouble now is, all you can do really watching the game is just hold your breath and wait, you know? Like it's, even if they get up to like 14-8, you still can't really be like, oh yeah, it's really how you know that one misstep is probably gonna be the end of it. So yeah, let's see what they can do. Let's make them prove it to us.
Well, on behalf of Henry G, I have to talk about why Space Soldiers has decided to invest into this round as Major gets burned alive. You're up 14-1, you lose the pistol, no reason. Just make sure your first gun round, you have everything you can want.
Yeah, that's true. Henry was not loving that yesterday.
I mean, don't love it at any point. I think economy is one of those weird parts of the game that is very convoluted these days with some of the bonus money and everything, but there is just no sense to it when you have that big of a lead. Like, you don't need to get this second round, you don't need to turn it around. And
yeah.
Now this likely will have no impact on the game because of how widespread the score is, but
a simple way to put it is you need 2 more rounds and you have, you know, 14 with which to get the 2. And now, are you more likely to get those 2 using, you know, C sets or M4s? Right. So why not have more M4 rounds, basically?
Yeah. And it just puts you in that scary spot where they could make a comeback if you... The one way they can make a comeback into this game is if Space Soldiers just completely destroy their own economy. So we'll see, but a good second round in this second half for Big. They're going to get a third. Interesting enough, it is Legia leading the way. 14 kills for him. He's the only one who's not negative. He's 14 and 14.
Yeah, right. Not always the player that we look for, but I mean, at this point, anybody who wants to take up the mantle and try and push the team forward should probably be welcome to do so. 14-3, and the 18th round now commencing. Good news is we're going to get a couple of more rounds to get the Cobblestone or the Dragon Lord drop, Moses. You thought about that?
Maybe that's the plan all along.
Maximize
doing it for the people.
Do remember, guys, the more people that watch, the higher the rate is of the drops. So if you invite your friends, increased up rate for everybody. So it's, you know, you have an incentive to get people to watch. Think about it, especially on this map.
That'd be quite nice. Well, there's Gabi again leading the way. Another stack towards the A-bomb site for Space Soldiers. Molotov, they can hear the calls coming out. Flashbangs, utility being spent now. Nades doing great damage, so are the flames. So many players from Space Soldiers brought down low, and it's a pinch onto the bomb site. This is feeling uncomfortable. Great win from Paz. Unfortunately, the rest of the team can't do a whole lot. Paz is just going to bail out with his armor and CZ. Run to the other side of the map. Live with that armor. It's $1,000 he wouldn't have to spend. 23 and 6 for him. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, imagine having died only 6 times in 18 rounds. That's, well, round isn't quite done, but still, that's it's not bad at all.
No.
So I mean, good. This is a good round for Big in the sense that even though there was a big stack on that B bomb site, they didn't sort of overcommit to the fight, right? They let Space Soldiers wait it out and peek themselves into death, and then that was it. So you want to see that. You want to see them really keep the cool here.
I mean, even down this big of a disparity, you got to imagine that Gabi's going to have a well-drilled team, especially on the T side. And you don't just lose that discipline, regardless of the score, regardless of how, you know, excited and hopeless you're feeling. You're still going to be able to, you know, throw the nades and use the advantage of your rifle. So here we go, into the first gun round. This is where, just quickly to refer back to that second round about their buy, if you look at guys like Majors, Antares, and Calyx, yes, they have the M4s. But, you know, some are missing head armor, and then you look at the nades, they don't have smokes, they don't have kits. So only one kit, that's on Engine, and that's because he went down to the UMP. So this is where not investing into that second round could have really helped Space Soldiers.
See if it's going to come back to haunt them. I feel like, especially in retake situations, lacking those grenades can be so rough. Has the timing. Gobi makes himself known, and he's going to be forcing them back. Engine as well on the ramp. Just slightly drawing back from that position. Major, though, is quite far forward on that plateau. You love to see that.
Engine has taken a lot of damage from spam, down to 17 HP. So he's going to have a really tough time if a hit were to come in, and it's looking likely at the moment. 4 players here already. Tapson as the 5th is rotating over. Major should be able to have the information if, I think they just got pop flashed and peeked into a new position. They should be finding this out between him and Xantares. I imagine we'll see some kind of a rotate coming right now, and yeah, Xantares is kind of cheated, but hasn't committed to it. So a lot of pressure on Paz. If he goes down, Engine cannot even get in a fight.
Well, Legia is gone already. Bring the bomb back towards the B bomb site. Xantares is starting to rotate out. This fake is actually working out big, and this is what they've been doing so much in the tournament so far. They've been very good at drawing out their opponents once they're on the T side, but now they've lost got B, so now the rotation is going to start to come back. Xantares moving into the site, and he wins the fight against Tapson. That was the one thing that could not happen. They needed everybody here on Big to stay alive, and goes for a bit more. The bomb gets dropped with 10 seconds left. It's Kiev in a 1 versus 5, and Xantares will take every single one of them down at the end. 15-4. I mean, they had the whole team drawn out of the B bomb site. Yeah. It wasn't enough.
No, it really wasn't whatsoever. And I mean, Xantares essentially winning a 1v3 over on that side of the map. Great job from Paz. That first kill. These are critical. I mean, this kill comes in when all of his teammates are there, but like we said, Engine was so low. If he had lost that initial battle, and Xantares gets back in a position, he kind of senses what's coming eventually, and as the clock is running out, Big not even in the bomb site planting, he's able to get those 3 kills. Was just trying to hold his ground for the retake. As again flashed back as he was last round, a double op setup. Desperation for Big.
More exchanges coming through the door. Very scary for Legia, almost walked right into it. Worked out as well. Pretty aggressive with the AWP, not scared to take the fight at close range. And at this stage, they really sort of do have to roll the dice to try and find a way back into the game. Need to win 11 straight rounds to get into even just overtime. Now there's going to be the boost in the middle, very popular. Could have definitely been a kill, but missed the opportunity. The tree caught the bullet instead, and Keeb will take down Paz, so now something's happening.
As Xantares has rotated, Engine still taking that fight, ill-advised. Xantares again is all alone. He's going to try and make his way into the side. I think they spotted him with that jump, and the op is swift from Kiev. Calyx and Major just backing away from this fight. Want to keep the rifles. They're going to be a broken economy again. If they do want to buy into this, they'd have to have these 2 M4s survive, and even then it would struggle to get some good weaponry on the other 3 players, so whatever they can do here at the end.
That's not bad at all, but the game really does change quite a bit when you've got your back to the wall like this, when you can't lose any rounds, no mistakes. It's great if you can continue to have openings like this. You can obviously pull all the way through. I think the trouble hits if you have a start where nobody even has to die, but just 2 people get sort of wounded, get to you know, below 40 health. Yep. Then you know, oh man, this is the round. You know, now it's gonna, like, it can definitely change the mentality on the team.
The nice thing, I mean, if there is a silver lining, which I guess technically there's not, but when you're down this much, I don't think you really feel that pressure of elimination of the last round ending things until you get close to being able to actually make a comeback. Like, until you get to like 10, 11 rounds, like, you'll still see like crazy aggressive plays because Big knows they have nothing to lose at this point, essentially. They've already kind of lost the game. If they get back up towards 10 or 11, that's when you'll start to see maybe a bit more reserved play, a little bit more like you actually are scared of taking a fight that you'll lose.
Managed to put Space Soldier's economy back in the hole, and at least that is working out, so not bad at all here. Kiev quite quick with the AWP. As we said in the first half, he was isolated for so much of the time on the other side of the map, couldn't really do anything.
Well, just pistols. Fast pace towards the B site. Kiev, this is what I'm talking about. Kiev is going to be making aggressive plays. Gets dropped there. Tapson has found his way out the drop. No one has eyes on it. Missed some shots though. That was a bit sketchy, but now Legia has chimed in, so Space Soldiers slowed it down, but they can't stop it, and now they've got Calyx out in the open. Xantares is next up for Tapson. This is what we saw against North, was Tapson just being a beast coming down drop. And at least doing it in that round against Pistols. It would be, I mean, if they want to make this comeback, he's got to wake up.
And he slowly is. I mean, you saw him have 0 kills for a very long time in that first half, and now he's up to 11, so third on the scoreboard on his own team, which is, I mean, pretty impressive actually. So done a good job. You could argue that it's a bit late maybe in the day to sort of wake up, but he just seems to not have a good time at all playing the CT side.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his you have to remember as well, they attacked his position quite frequently, and they usually did it, I mean, without gaining any kind of momentum or stringing rounds together. They could never really get a solid economy going, so the poor guy didn't have sometimes the tools needed to slow down some of those aggressive plays from Space Soldiers.
Managed to get the first kill this time on Engine, and they burned out Major a bit. There's the counter boost that we've been talking about that's been lacking. They don't really go all the way up, and you can tell Legia is on the other side. Slightly paranoid that something's going to be coming. Even if they get the kill on Legia here, they should be able to just rush the A-bomb site, no problem. But they started to rotate over. Because Major's boosted up, they're going to put Calyx over there as well. It's interesting.
Ooh, almost the timing. Legia, though, responds quite nice. That should set off the bells. Not necessarily that they have to go back, but they should realize they're going to encounter some form of resistance. Doesn't really matter, does it? 3 headshots come out from the AKs, Tapson, Nex, and Gob. So they've got 7 now, Anders.
It's definitely trending in the right direction.
What number do they need to get to before you say, all right?
15. I mean, I know it's depressing, Moses, but
that was a fun game that we played right now.
Yeah,
just there.
Just shutting it down. I mean, I think the problem is actually, I would say these are the easier rounds to win, because right now I think there is obviously pressure on Big, but I think you also have that like almost delirious feeling of like, I mean, what can we do? Let's just pray and do our best, you know. Let's show them what we got while we're going out. But once you get to 14-15, like 13-15, 14-15, then it becomes serious again.
Here's the thing, it was, I mean, Space Soldiers just yesterday came back from 13-2 or 2-13 down against Gambit on Train to make a very close game of it.
Yeah.
So they better realize that, you know, they should close this out as soon as possible. And surely there's 2 opening picks. Gob gets 1, Nex and Legia combined to burn Major. I think that's the 2nd or 3rd time he's died from a molly in this half. And all of a sudden a 5-on-3. And yeah, the one, I mean, just to go back to that, the one thing that Adren said after they'd won the game, I mean, they eventually did win it out Gambit. He said in the postgame, when you get up 13-2, you do not necessarily like fall asleep, but you feel so confident that you don't feel worried until the comeback has already essentially happened. You know, you look at the score and you're like, 15-7, that's fine. 15-8, that's fine. 15-9, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, they have 13 rounds. If we lose this, we're broke, and they can get to overtime. So, I mean, as much as this was an incredible start for Space Soldiers, they need to make sure they close this out quick.
Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, especially because you have to remember, even if Space Soldiers win this game, they're going to be playing more games today. So you want to make sure that you have the strength for it, that you're not doubting yourself too much. Like, why not close this game out as soon as you can, and then you can watch the other teams play. You can sort of prepare yourself mentally. If you have to sort of spend too much energy and you barely win this game or win it in overtime or something like that, sure, it'll deplete a little bit of your confidence. It has to. 3-5 here, and obviously for a long time this round has already been lost from Space Soldiers. They already decided to save, and they're going to be in the B-bomb side, while Big are out hunting for them. And why should they not? They have so much money, and they obviously can't save the guns anyway, so...
And this is just more of a, the more they take these rifles away, the easier the following rounds are going to go. And, you know, I mentioned it at the start, the one way that they can come back into this is if they make sure that they keep the economy of Space Soldiers just as ruined as possible throughout it. Getting these guns would be a nice step. Calyx survives. And he does even longer, but not at the end. Legia finds it with the pistol.
It's like we always say, those last seconds, they just last so long.
They just hang, don't they?
Oh, Major. Would he feel... No, it's going to spread into the corner, isn't it? He had 1 HP in that corner, so when that Molotov came in, he was like, oh, shit. Not good, is it?
He's just like, oh, guys, I'm dead. I'm dead. Doing his best for impression.
I need a fire extinguisher. Help.
What comes next in this game, Anders? You think they make like a water grenade that your teammate can throw? Actually, I guess smoke does the same thing. That'd be kind of pointless, yeah.
Smoke water balloons, though, that is a friendly thought, isn't it? Just to soften up Counter-Strike a bit for the sensitive audience. I hope not.
Well, Xanter's burning alive to Nex and picked off by Legia. Starting to look good on this T side. There's some of that tactical brilliance that we saw to them that so many people respect out of GOT-B-led teams over the years. Doing a very good job, and it's, I mean, yeah, it's against pistols, but these rounds have been clean. Like, they haven't even been a danger in some of these force buys that Space Soldiers have had, and you have to admire that at the very least. Molotov out, they know exactly where he is. You can hear the shouts across the studio, and actually, he does burn Nex. He's got himself in a 1-2, all of a sudden a 1-on-1.
Oh no, how has this happened? The Molotov actually burns him alive, and now triple kill for Calix, waiting on the other side there. Key with the timing, but it's not good enough. Quad kill, and just like that, with pistols and nothing else, Calix saving Space Soldiers here so that they didn't have to